Hi there, it's Cindy from Frencheezee.com. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to conjugate the verb êtres in the imperfect tense. Now let's have a look at how to conjugate the verb êtres, to be, in the imperfect tense. I'll give you enough time so you can repeat after me. Remember that practice makes perfect, so if you're in a position where you can actually speak out loud, I do advise you to repeat after me. J'étais, which means I was or I used to be. Tu étais. Tu étais. Il était. Il était. Elle était. Elle était. On n'était. On n'était. Remember that on can also mean we. If you want to learn more about the French subject pronouns, click on the info card that will pop up at the top of your video player. Nous étions. Nous étions. Vous étiez. Vous étiez. Ils étaient. Ils étaient. Elles étaient. Elles étaient. Did you notice that we pronounce the N of on and the S of nous, vous, il and elle? The reason we pronounce them is because they were followed by a vowel. This is called making the liaison. If you're familiar with the imperfect tense, you may have noticed that êtres is irregular in this tense. It's actually the only irregular verb in the imperfect. But that said, the verb être still uses the same endings as all the other verbs in the imperfect. That is, AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. The only thing that's irregular about the verb être in the imperfect is its stem, not the ending. Also remember that the endings AIS, AIT, and AIENT, despite being spelled differently, they're actually pronounced exactly the same. That is, est, j'étais, tu étais, il était, ils étaient. Okay? Also, something else you need to know is that even though, for example, j'étais translates to I was, you can only use était if in English you would use was on its own. In other words, if you wanted to say something like I was cooking, you mustn't translate was in French because the imperfect is not a two-part verb in French, okay? So instead, what you would need to do is use the imperfect of the French for cooking, which would be je cuisinais. As you can see, we wouldn't be using j'étais. We would just say je cuisinais for I was cooking. So basically, you only ever use the verb être in the imperfect if the verb to be is the main verb and not something else like to cook or to read or anything else for that matter. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. Mon grand-père m'a appris à pêcher quand j'étais petit. My grandfather taught me how to fish when I was little. As you can see, there are two verbs in this sentence, apprendre in the passé composé, m'a appris, and être in the imperfect, était. If you'd like to revise the difference between the passé composé and the imperfect, click on the info card that will pop up now at the top of your video player. Let's have a look at the second example. Nous étions meilleurs amis. You could translate this sentence in two ways. Either we used to be best friends or we were best friends. This is the end of the lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and a very special thanks to my patrons as well, without whom this channel would simply not be the same. Please check out my Patreon page, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. I'll see you there. Bye! À bientôt!